His own twin daughters, Jessie and Delilah, just 17 years old, dropped the ultimate bombshell. They refused to testify in his defense. Diddy's shaking, standing up in court, begging for 5 minutes with his girls, only to get clapped back by the judge while they sit stone-cold silent in the back row, not even sparing him a glance. What pushed his own flesh and blood to say, "Nah, Dad, we're out. Buckle up, because this tea is hotter than a summer festival lineup, and we're spilling every drop with wit, shade, and the unfiltered truth." Smash that like button, subscribe, and let's dive into the wildest celebrity drama of 2025. Because this ain't just a trial, it's a full-on family saga that's got the world buzzing. Let's set the stage, because this scene is straight out of a Hollywood blockbuster. It's June 2025, week 5 of Diddy's federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial, and the stakes are higher than a Super Bowl halftime show. Diddy's been strutting into court in tailored suits, flashing that signature smirk like he's got the game on lock. His defense team's plan? Lean hard into the family man narrative. Enter Jessie and Delilah Combs, his twin daughters with the late Kim Porter, who were supposed to take the stand and paint their dad as a loving, hands-on father, not the ruthless mogul the prosecution's trying to pin down. The strategy was to tug at the jury's heartstrings, showing Diddy as the guy who throws epic birthday bashes and posts heartwarming IG pics, stepping up big time after Kim's tragic passing in 2018. Sounds like a winning script, right? Well, hold my iced coffee, because this plan crashed and burned faster than a flop single. Here's the moment that flipped the script. Picture the courtroom. Reporters scribbling like their lives depend on it. Lawyers whispering strategies, the judge eyeing everyone like she's done with the nonsense. Defense attorney Marcus Bennett steps up to the bench, looking like he just found out his dog ate his closing argument. The room's so quiet you could hear Diddy's heartbeat, or maybe that's just his panic attack kicking in. Bennett clears his throat and drops the nuke. "Your Honor, we need to adjust our witness list. Jessie and Delilah Combs will not be testifying as planned." Gasps ripple through the crowd like a wave at a concert. The judge raises an eyebrow, the jury leans forward, and Diddy, he's gripping the table like it's the only thing keeping him from hitting the floor, knuckles white, face screaming, "This can't be real." Let's hit pause and break this down, because it's deeper than a Kanye X rant. Jessie and Delilah, at just 17, didn't just bail. They made a choice that rocked Diddy's world to its core. These aren't kids throwing a tantrum over curfew. They're young women who've been in that courtroom, eyes wide, soaking in testimony that turned their image of their dad upside down. Sources close to the case say the twins were there when a former associate dropped evidence so damning it contradicted the bedtime stories Diddy had been telling them their whole lives. Imagine being a teenager, thinking your dad's the GOAT, only to hear things that make your stomach drop like you're on a roller coaster. One insider spilled that the twins left the courtroom visibly shaken after that testimony. And that night, they had a heart-to-heart with their godmother, a close friend of Kim Porter's. Whatever went down in that convo, details are locked tighter than a Beyoncé album release. It changed everything. By morning, their lawyer called the defense. No testimony, no statements, nothing. Trial witnesses painted a picture of a mogul who ran his empire like a dictator runs a country. Former employees spilled the tea. Non-disclosure agreements tighter than a corset, meetings where phones were snatched like candy from a kid, and anyone who dared step out of line got the boot faster than you can say bad boy records. His social media? A curated masterpiece, every post screaming, "He family man goals." But when Jessie and Delilah said, "We can't do this," it was like someone hacked his Instagram and posted the unfiltered truth. Court sketches, since cameras are a no-go in federal court, show a man coming apart, tie loosened, water glass shaking, breathing so heavy the judge asked if he needed a medic. This wasn't the Diddy of Met Gala after parties or yacht selfies. This was a father staring down the ultimate betrayal, not from rivals, but from his own blood. Let's zoom in on Jessie and Delilah, because these girls are the real MVPs of this story. They're not just any teens, they're the daughters of a music titan and a fashion icon, raised in a world of private jets, A-list playdates, and paparazzi flashes. Born in 2006, they grew up with Diddy hyping their every milestone. Extravagant birthdays, graduations that looked like award shows, family vacations on yachts bigger than most people's houses. After Kim Porter's heartbreaking death in 2018, Diddy leaned hard into the full-time dad role, telling reporters, "I promised Kim I'd be there for our kids." Those IG posts of him with the twins at fashion shows or family dinners. Pure PR gold, racking up likes and heart eyes emojis. But behind the filters, things were messier. Insiders say the twins' relationship with Diddy had been increasingly tense as the trial loomed. At 17, they're forging their own paths, questioning the allegations against their dad, and that associate's testimony was the final straw that broke the camel's back. Back in the courtroom, the drama's hitting fever pitch. Bennett tries to play it cool, saying the twins exercise their right to decline since they weren't subpoenaed. But prosecutor Sarah Mitchell's not here for the fluff. She jumps up like she's auditioning for Law Order. "Your Honor, these witnesses are right there in the courtroom. The jury deserves to know why they're bailing." The judge presses Bennett, who stumbles, admitting the twins refused all forms of testimony, even depositions. Diddy's losing it. He stands up, a massive courtroom faux pas, and pleads, "I need 5 minutes with my daughters." His voice cracks, he's wobbling like he's about to faint, and the judge shuts it down hard. "Mr. Combs, sit down or you're out of here." The twins. They're in the back row, holding hands, staring straight ahead, not giving their dad a single look. It's like watching a family soap opera unfold in real time, and the audience, aka the jury, can't look away. This moment's bigger than just a trial hiccup. Diddy's defense was banking on the twins to humanize him, to counter the prosecution's portrait of a cold, calculating kingpin. But their silence screamed louder than any testimony could. The jury's watching, and you know they're thinking, if his own daughters won't vouch for him, what does that say? Outside the courthouse, fans and ex-users are going wild. A lawyer girl Keiko posted that the twins haven't shown up to court since day one. And Armina Valor noted they bolted when a male escort dropped early testimony. The internet's a circus, but the twins' silence is the main act. Let's step back and look at the bigger picture, because this trial's a cultural tsunami. The prosecution's painting Diddy as a control-obsessed mogul who used his power to manipulate everyone. Employees, partners, even his own kids. Witnesses have dropped bombshells, drug-fueled freak-offs, hush-money deals, and a lifestyle that sounds like a mix of Scarface and a reality show gone wrong. Diddy's team counters that he's a black entrepreneur targeted by a system that loves to tear down success. The twins' refusal doesn't just hurt his case, it obliterates the family man facade he's spent years building. For decades, he's sold us this image of a devoted dad. But when your own daughters say, "We're out," that image cracks like a dropped iPhone screen. The courtroom fallout is next-level chaos. After the twins' bombshell, Diddy's physically struggling, pale, shaky, breathing like he just ran a marathon. The judge calls a 15-minute recess, and court medics rush to check his vitals. Meanwhile, Jessie and Delilah are huddled with their godmother in a private room, their faces heavy with the weight of their choice. When court resumes, Diddy's back, but he's a shell of himself. Eyes glassy, barely focused. Bennett calls a backup witness, James Reynolds, a longtime business buddy who drones on about Diddy's philanthropy and black-owned business ventures. But the jury's distracted, sneaking glances at the twins in the back, who sit with perfect posture, their clasped hands betraying their inner turmoil. During cross-examination, Mitchell goes for the kill, asking Reynolds how Diddy handles defiance. Reynolds squirms, admitting Diddy gets forceful when things don't go his way. It's like the twins' stand is playing out in real time, and the prosecution's eating it up. As the day winds down, the drama hits a crescendo. During a recess, Diddy tries to approach Jessie and Delilah as they're leaving with their godmother and lawyer. He's desperate, voice cracking. "Just 5 minutes, please." The godmother shuts it down like a bouncer at an exclusive club. "This isn't the time or place." Then Delilah steps up, her voice low but steady. "We understand exactly what's at stake, that's why we can't do it." Jessie adds, "We love you, Dad, but we can't say what you want." Diddy's face crumples and he pulls out a gut-wrencher. "Your mother would never have let this happen." The godmother fires back, ice cold. "Don't you dare use Kim like that. She'd protect these girls at all costs, even from you." Reporters nearby catch every word, and X is already exploding with hot takes. This isn't just a trial moment. It's the death of Diddy's carefully crafted family narrative. Let's dig deeper into what this means, because it's more than courtroom theatrics. Diddy spent decades building an empire, not just of music and money, but of image. He's the guy who turned hustle into an art form, from Bad Boy Records to Cyrock to fashion lines. But control was always his secret sauce. Testimony revealed a man who micromanaged every detail. His businesses, his relationships, even his kids' public personas. Former assistants testified about NDAs so strict they could have doubled as CIA contracts. Meetings where phones were collected like hall passes. And a social media feed curated to scream, "I'm a good guy." But the twins' decision was a plot twist he couldn't rewrite. For the first time, Diddy couldn't control the narrative, and it hit him like a freight train. For Jessie and Delilah, this was no small thing. At 17, they're navigating a world where their dad's a global icon, but also a man on trial for serious crimes. They grew up in his shadow, but they're stepping into their own light. Sources say their godmother played a huge role, giving them the strength to stand firm. Think about it. These are kids who've lost their mom, lived under a microscope, and now face a moral dilemma most adults would crumble under. Yet they chose truth over loyalty, integrity over image. That's not just courage. It's a power move that'll define them long after this trial fades from the headlines. The trial itself is a beast of its own. The prosecution's case is built on a mountain of evidence. Wiretaps, financial records, and witness accounts that paint Diddy as a puppet master pulling strings in a dark empire. They've got stories of freak-offs that sound like something out of a scandalous tell-all, plus allegations of coercion and payoffs that kept people quiet for years. Diddy's team, meanwhile, is fighting to reframe him as a visionary who's being targeted for his success. They point to his philanthropy, his role in uplifting black businesses, and his devotion to his kids. But the twins' absence is a hole in their defense they can't patch. Every witness who takes the stand now, whether it's Reynolds or some other associate, feels like a consolation prize. The jury's not hearing from Diddy's heart. They're hearing from his Rolodex. Let's talk about the cultural ripple effect, because this trial's bigger than one man. It's a clash of narratives. The American dream versus the cost of unchecked power. Diddy's story, rags to riches, Harlem to Hollywood, has inspired millions. But the allegations suggest a darker side, where ambition crossed into control and loyalty was demanded, not earned. The twins stand as a mirror to that. They're not just rejecting Diddy's defense, they're rejecting the idea that family ties mean blind allegiance. On X, the conversation's electric. Culture Critic 23 posted, "Diddy built an empire on image, but his daughters just burned it down." Of Gossip Guru X added, "This is what happens when kids grow up and see the truth behind the fame." The world's watching, and the verdict's still out, not just on Diddy's case, but on his legacy. As the trial rolls on, the courtroom's a pressure cooker. Bennett's scrambling to pivot, calling witnesses who can vouch for Diddy's business acumen. But the emotional weight of the twins' absence hangs heavy. Diddy's barely present, his eyes drifting to the back row where Jessie and Delilah sit, composed but distant. During breaks, reporters catch him in heated talks with Bennett, gesturing wildly toward the twin seats. It's clear he's not just fighting for his freedom. He's fighting to hold on to the family he thought he had. But the twins have drawn a line, and it's one Diddy can't cross, no matter how many hits he's produced or empires he's built. So, where do we go from here? The trial's far from over, and every day brings new twists. Will Diddy find a way to salvage his defense? Will Jessie and Delilah ever break their silence, maybe dropping a tell-all that shakes the internet? And what happens to a man who spent his life scripting his story, only to lose control at the climax? This is more than a courtroom drama. It's a lesson in power, truth, and the ties that bind or break us. Jessie and Delilah aren't just Diddy's daughters. They're a generation saying, "We see you, and we're choosing ourselves." All right, fam, let's wrap this up with some real talk. This story's got more layers than a celebrity wedding cake, and we're here to slice through every one. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell, and drop a comment. Team Diddy or Team Truth? No shade, just vibes. Share this with your crew, because this drama's too wild to keep on the low. Stay locked in for more updates, because this trial's serving more tea than a gossip blog, and we're sipping it all. Keep it 100, stay curious, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out.